everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to share with you 10 things that I didn't like about studying abroad. So I know that this is kind of a different video because usually my videos are quite positive. They always just talk about like the benefits of studying abroad, why studying abroad is so amazing, why you should do it. And of course, like even despite all of those things that I'm gonna mention in this video, I still think that studying abroad is an incredible choice. It has completely changed my life. I don't regret it. However, I also always try on this channel to be as authentic and as real as possible. Not to complain, not to be negative, but to prepare you for what's ahead of you and to also make you feel less alone when you are struggling. Because I think the worst thing that can happen to you if you're struggling with homesickness or stress or overwhelm or really with anything abroad is to see the highlight reel of everyone else, is to think that no one else is struggling but you. I never want to create this illusion here on my channel, which is also why I do share a lot of study abroad real talk. I have an entire playlist all about the things that no one tells you when you go abroad. So if you like this video, you're gonna love the other videos in that playlist too. If you're new to my channel, then hi, my name is Laura. I'm a 22-year-old German small town girl. I just graduated from 4 years of studying abroad in Aberdeen, Scotland. I also did a semester abroad in Toronto, Canada. I traveled solo to many different places all around the world, and on this channel I empower you to step outside your comfort zone by sharing study abroad tips videos, travel vlogs, mindset videos, day in the life videos. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please consider subscribing, and if you're already subscribed, make sure you turn on your notification bells so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. This is also a super special video actually because it's in collaboration with you. So I asked over on my Instagram account if any one of you has ever studied abroad, lived abroad, what didn't you like about it? If you want to be part of one of my next videos, make sure you follow me on Instagram and keep an eye out on the YouTube community tab so you can also contribute your opinions, because I just really want to share your experiences as well, because you know everyone has such a different experience of studying abroad, which is, you know, what is so amazing about it. So I want to feature you too in my videos. Okay, so Vera Bergschiff said what she didn't like about studying abroad, number one, was dealing with all the stuff before moving because no one has a list for your country. Oh my god, I can so relate to this. Really, all the paperwork, which also Hannah Fang, I think, and Julie said, all the paperwork with studying abroad can be a bit stressful. And yes, I agree to this. Usually with studying abroad, especially when you do stuff like Erasmus or you have scholarships or you do all of those kinds of things, there is paperwork involved and there are a lot of things to figure out. And you know what I always like to say is that even the preparation for studying abroad is already testing how much you want to study abroad, right? And it's already testing your resilience, it's testing your resourcefulness. And you know, that's actually a huge skill, I think, that you need to have when you want to study abroad, is resourcefulness. Being able to ask people, to Google, to find your own answers, to call up people, to figure out a way. And all of those girls who have been studying abroad, who went abroad, has showed that resourcefulness. And something I do really want to add to this, what I found quite stressful with going abroad, was getting an apartment or finding an apartment without actually being abroad. I also found that quite stressful because there was also a lot of paperwork involved, like all the contracts and all the things, and just even finding a good apartment, finding a trustworthy apartment, the deposit and negotiating and all of that. Just know that you're not alone in this. If you want to join a free community where you can ask all of your questions about paperwork and all those kinds of things, make sure you join my free Facebook group, Girls Study Abroad. There are over 1,700 members of girls from all around the world. So I'm sure there are going to be girls in there who are either from the country you want to study abroad in or who want to study abroad in the same country, who can maybe help you with that. Number two, Lena said, support from the agency was not enough. You get thrown into a new life and no questions answered. You don't always get all the questions answered. It's not going to be served to you on a tray. And of course, Lena, it's very unfortunate, and I'm sorry to hear that your agency support was not enough. I do find it quite disappointing because I know that study abroad agencies are expensive as well. They do cost a lot of money. So of course, I really hope that, my YouTube channel, as I said, my ebook, my membership is really helping you as well. If you are right now looking for some additional support for studying abroad, know that an agency is not the only way. Like, there's so many resources online, not just my content, but also other people's content that can really, really help you a lot. And what I also thought was quite hard to studying abroad, really basics of life abroad, you don't always know how they work, right? For example, how to pay bills, or how the tax works, or how the recycling works. Like, all of those things you kind of have to figure out as you go. And I always think that in those times when you have to figure out things yourself, it's so great to have a support system and to have a place to ask and to get guidance, and to know that, if I ask a question there, it's gonna get answered. And that's exactly what my membership with Girls Abroad is all about. I created the first online membership community specifically designed for girls going abroad. So it's a monthly membership where you get a monthly group coaching call with me, masterclasses, a lot of group challenges and activities, and of course a safe community and a safe space to ask your questions. We have our own app, so it's always with you. No matter where you go, you can always ask us questions exactly about those things where you don't feel you have enough support from other sources. This is created for study abroad students, by study abroad students, with study abroad students. I would love to have you join the Girls Abroad membership. It's linked in the description box down below. Number 3, this is also one that I got quite a lot, and I can of course totally relate to this. Eunice Broad and Danny said, being away from family. Yes, oh my gosh, I can so relate to this. I also found it so hard going the back and forth between studying abroad and home, because I did my whole degree abroad. I always, was abroad for like 3-4 months, and then I came home again, was at home in the summer for 3-4 months, and this constant like getting used to being without my parents, without my family, coming back home, being with my family, this constant saying goodbye was very, very hard. And of course, being away from your family is not easy. However, I also have really learned, because I was away, to value the time that I do have with my family a lot more. Because it was always limited that I was at home as well for summer, we did so many more activities and we really enjoyed the time together because we knew it was limited. So I also think that's quite a really nice experience, and you get to value what you sometimes take for granted a lot more. Other things that you've said regarding family is also lying to your sensitive parents that you're all fine and perfect. And I can also really understand where you're coming from. Of course, we all struggle when we're abroad, but oftentimes we don't want to worry our parents, so we might not tell them everything. That's again why I have the Girls Abroad membership, my Girls Study Abroad Facebook group, so you do have this place where you can share, where you can feel safe, and where you don't have to worry your parents. I still think it's so important to be honest and to be transparent with your family, but of course you know your family and your parents best. But I still really, really want you to please, if there's anything you want to share, come into the Facebook group, come into the membership and share it, right? Because I really don't want you to go through this alone. And also Betty said, pressure to do well so I don't disappoint my family. Of course we want to make our families proud, right? Especially when you go abroad, if we go to uni, we want to have good grades, we want to do all of the things. I can really relate to this. I always thought, oh, my parents are, helping me out with my rent and all of those things. And especially in second year, when I was really struggling to enjoy university because I was just not happy with my course, I felt very guilty because I thought like, wow, I'm like studying abroad now, but I'm not fully enjoying it. But my parents are like, paying every month to help me with my rent, and then I have something to eat and all of those things, So I did also feel really, really guilty. I can totally relate to this. Or when I was in Toronto and really homesick and not really enjoying everything to its fullest potential. But then on the other hand, what I also realized is your parents want your best for you, and they wouldn't want you to put additional pressure on yourself to make them happy. They want you to be happy. And I'll always say, as long as you do your best in the circumstances that you have been given, that's good enough. A small little fourth thing that I didn't like about studying abroad, this is like super random, was buying things double or triple. So I now here at home have 3 blenders. One is from my first year, one is the one I got here in Germany, and the third one is now the one that I got in my 4th year. And because oftentimes it's much more affordable to just buy something than to ship it in between countries, I have a lot of things like double and triple, and me being a minimalist, I really don't like that. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. It's like the storing your things and shipping things back and forth and overpacking your suitcase and all of those kinds of things, of course, are a bit annoying. And if you want some help on what to pack for study abroad, I have a free study abroad packing list, which is linked down below in the description box, just for you as a little help and guidance on what you really need, what you should pack, and make sure you check out that checklist. You can download it for free. So the 5th thing that particularly Lorena didn't like about studying abroad is living with flatmates that I didn't choose. I can also really relate to this. So in my first year I stayed in halls, and you don't get to choose your flatmates. So I stayed with 7 other girls in one flat, which you can imagine. To be fair, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but I can really understand that I was probably also lucky, and you might not always get along with your flatmates. Like, I personally didn't really get along that well with my flatmate in Toronto. We didn't really talk. It was a bit awkward, to be honest. And of course, that's not really comfortable always, and something that also my partner Ross actually pointed out, because he has also lived abroad for quite a while, is that you often really have to make an effort to meet people, you know? When you go to a new place, you have to go outside your comfort zone. You have to put yourself out there. You have to start talking to people. You have to make conversations to meet new people, to make new friends. And of course, when you go to uni, that might be a bit easier because you can like have your classmates and your flatmates maybe, but still you have to put an effort to meet new people. Another one that I got on my Instagram stories was the difficulty of fitting in with others. And I think this happens whenever we go into a new place. We think, oh, I'm not fitting in, I'm like the new one, the outsider. And you know, making friends abroad is such a big topic, really. And this is actually a topic that I dedicated an entire month to in my membership. It's called Find Your Tribe, and we talked all about how to make friends abroad and how to really, you know, find people that are really connected with you, that are really positive, how to really put yourself out there, how to get the confidence to make new friends, all of those things we talked about in that topic. So once again, the membership is linked in the description box. Number 6, and Dani said, missing my food. Yes, oh my god, preach. I just went on a hunt for German bread everywhere, could not find amazing bread anywhere, gave up eventually, started baking my own bread. It's just a thing. Like, I am really serious about my German bread, okay? But we tend to miss our local foods, right? Like our home country foods. And also other people said cooking and also not finding foods that I like. Personally, I love cooking, and I also love trying out new recipes from whatever culture that I'm in. And so I personally love that, and I would encourage you as well to find the joy in that. Like, try out some new things and try out some new recipes, find some easy recipes, or ask your friends, ask your flatmates, like what are they cooking, maybe if they're, you know, local or something. Also, not gonna lie, I did always bring some German bread with me whenever I went abroad, so I can really relate. Number 7 of the things that you didn't like about studying abroad, this is a more serious one. Marina and Masha both pointed out facing the issue of racism and the belief that some nationalities are better than others. Masha said, experiencing racism for the first time in my life, feeling discrimination whilst doing or renewing your papers in official places, coldness of people. I'm of course very sorry that you went through this. International students, for example, they're very open to other cultures because they themselves went outside their own bubble. So I think if you go abroad, you have this much more open-minded, tolerant worldview just because you had that experience. But not everyone, unfortunately, has this experience of stepping outside their bubble and realizing that actually, you know, your country is not the center of the world. Your culture is not the only one. You know, we are all the same sort of being, and not everyone had that experience. So of course, sometimes, you know, when you go to another culture or another country, they might not be as open-minded as you. You know, you coming to another country, to another culture, shows that you're very open-minded. Unfortunately, not everyone has that. And the only thing I can really say to this is, I truly believe if more people would go abroad, study abroad, really live in different cultures, racism would really go down so much. Because I mean, honestly, as soon as you live in another country, you realize that you know, you are not the only kind of person on this planet, and there's so many other kinds of people too. And I always feel so grateful that also my YouTube channel and my Facebook group, my membership, like in my membership we have girls from all around the world, really. US, Colombia, India, Poland, Czech, Germany, Sweden, and Philippines, really all over. And it is amazing to see how we are all supporting each other. We are all international. We all grew up differently, but we still come here for a similar cause, because we have similar dreams, similar goals, and it's really beautiful to see people from all around the world supporting each other. So I really hope that you can also see that yes, racism exists and open-mindedness and support exists too. Number 8 that you didn't like about studying abroad, that I also didn't like about studying abroad, was feeling alone. Loneliness is for sure something I have also dealt with abroad. I've made an entire video as well about loneliness and homesickness. Studying abroad, being abroad, gives you so many opportunities, and as I said earlier, it's about you to go out of your way to chase those opportunities, to put yourself out there. And it is also totally okay to be alone if you want to. In Toronto, for example, I did so much alone. Like, I went sightseeing alone, I went to San Diego alone, I went to the CNE, which is a huge like theme park, alone, because I wanted to spend this time alone. You know, there's really a difference between being alone and being lonely. Alone is very empowering, lonely not so much. So you get to choose how you want to feel and what you want to do to change your state. But of course, it's also normal to sometimes feel lonely. It really is normal. Number 9 is traveling a lot can be quite stressful, which I agree, like so much. That is a huge reason why I'm such a big proponent of habits, of having a morning routine, having a night routine, having habits that ground you, having, you know, stuff that you can do wherever you are in the world, no matter if that is doing yoga or reading or journaling. Stress and overwhelm is part of studying abroad. I always say, if you want the extraordinary life, you also get the extraordinary struggles and the extraordinary stress. So that's just sometimes what you have to deal with, really, it is. And then, last but not least, number 10, that Masha pointed out, having to surpass the language barrier, and people thinking if I scream the world, she will understand, not being able to learn the language. So yes, language barrier, of course, can be something if you go to a country where you might not speak the language. I'm very privileged. I had like years of English lessons. I also learned a lot of English from watching YouTube videos. So I never really had a huge language barrier, but of course, like in the beginning, you always adjust to a foreign language, and I can for sure say that, you know, also sometimes something that I actually really faced was that I often didn't get the Scottish humor. I didn't understand the jokes. I didn't get the cultural references, which of course can sometimes be discouraging. And it's something you grow into as well. I think, you know, in terms of language, like there's nothing better to learn a new language than to live in the country. It's uncomfortable. It's embarrassing sometimes to talk in a language that you don't 100% feel comfortable in, but that's the only way to get comfortable, is to once again push yourself and to just do it. And yes, like people ask me all the time, like if they want to study in Germany, should I learn German? Yeah, you should. If you come to a country that speaks a different language, you should at least put in some effort and learn the basics, try it. You know, you get an online mentor, download Duolingo, whatever you have to do to learn the language, just try it. Like, people love if you try to speak their language or their local dialect. Honestly, people love that. Put in that effort, show that you're open, show that you're trying. I think that really helps so much. What didn't you like about studying abroad? Let me know down below in the comments, or also comment down below which one of those points surprised you the most, or which ones you were like, oh, okay, how do I deal with this? If you have any more questions, please drop them down below in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then you're gonna love this video right here, which is all about study abroad realities. I basically share with you things that no one told me before I went and studied abroad. So I will see you in that video.